what you say matters. There's a story in the Bible about Zechariah, who's actually the father of John the Baptist, and he's in the temple. And there's this point where the angel of the Lord shows up to him and says, man, you are going to have a child. Your wife, even though she's at an old age, I know you guys have been praying for this. It is going to happen. And Zechariah doesn't believe the angel. And he says, what are you talking about? Are you sure that this is possible? I mean, I'm really old. My wife is getting up there in age. I don't know if she's able to get pregnant. I don't know if she's able to even, take the 9 months of craziness that she's going to have to go through to get there. And the angel says, I already told you that it was going to happen. And now I got to do something drastic. I'm going to have to keep you silent for a while, Zechariah. And the angel silences his mouth, and he's not allowed to speak any longer until the day that the baby arrives, and says, because of your unbelief, because of what you're speaking, I'm gonna have to shut you up for a while. And it's like, wow, that part's easy to graze over, but that's important there. It's basically saying, Zechariah, because you are speaking negativity, because you are speaking unbelief, because you're somewhere deep inside of you, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh, you think that, man, I'm praying for it, but I don't really believe it. I don't know if it's possible for me and my family. And man, that is limiting what God can do. If you remember in the Bible, when Jesus was going to his hometown, he did a few miracles there, but the Bible clearly says he only was able to do so much because of the people's unbelief, because of the things that they were speaking out of their mouth. They were not creating a fertile ground for God to do his work. So that's just proof right there, y'all, that what we say truly matters. We need to be careful with our words. It's so easy to speak negativity. Are we believing for what we're praying for? Do we realize the power of the words that are coming out of our mouth? And it's very interesting what Jesus said in Mark chapter 11. He said, have faith in God. Truly, I tell you, if anyone says to this mountain, go throw yourself into the sea, and does not doubt in their heart, but believes that what they say will happen, it will be done for them. Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. But today, I wanted to talk to you about something that's real bad that's been going around. I've heard that at first, you can barely notice it, right? Then it starts getting worse and worse, and eventually it starts to overtake your system. It starts to overtake different aspects of your mind and body, and I heard that it can stop you dead in your tracks. And this thing also spreads like the plague. If you hang around with people that have it, it'll spread to you with the quickness, and it'll start overtaking your body and mind as well. It's called the disease of complaining. Anybody ever hear of it? I know I have. Guys, let this go unchecked, and I promise you all your progress will be halted. And eventually, your life will soon take a turn for the worse if it keeps going. Guys, the Bible addresses complaining, murmuring, different areas over 20 times in the Bible, but none is more popular than the famous story of the Israelites that were freed from Egypt. So God freed the Israelites, right? They were stuck in this slavery to Egypt for hundreds of years, oppressed, treated horribly, and they cried out to God. God heard them, and he said, I got y'all. And he started working a series of miracles in their life. God did all sorts of miracles to get them out of there, right? He gets them out of slavery. Then he does parts the Red Sea so that they can fully escape. And he leads them by day and night, provides all that they could possibly need. And God did all this stuff with the goal was to lead them to the almighty promised land. You know how the story ended? They never made it into the promised land. Or at least that generation of folks did not make it into the promised land. Why? Yes, it had to do with disobedience. Yes, it had to do with letting things become more important than God.
but there was one primary reason why they never got there. From day one, all they did was complain. Right? They complained about the food. We don't have enough to eat. This food isn't that great. We're not being taken care of. Man, the food was better when we were locked up, when we were living in slavery. This is horrible. Moses, like, why'd you drag us out here for? They complained about the water or lack of it. We don't have any fresh water, Moses. What did God bring us out here so we can just die of thirst out in the middle of this desert? They complained about the leadership. Moses, you're not doing a good enough job. Like, if we had someone else in charge, we would have been there by now. Everything would be so much better than it is right now. Right? They complained that God wasn't doing enough. They complained that it was taking too long. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, here's the problem, y'all, when this stuff goes unchecked. Just like a disease starts to spread and affect all different areas of the body, when complaining is allowed to fester and grow, it will seep into every single aspect of our life. This is real. Even after how they spited him and just didn't acknowledge his blessings and just looked past it and found something to constantly complain about, he still, right, brought them very close to the promised land, because he is such a good God that gives us grace, and he gives us chance after chance after chance. Thank God for that. So God asked Moses, right, to get together 12 spies to go survey this promised land and to see what lies ahead of them. So all 12, they go and see and experience the exact same thing. And now they have to come back and they have to make a report to the rest of the people about what they saw and what they experienced. They do agree on two things, all 12 of them. One, that the land is flowing with milk and honey and is one of the most beautiful, amazing places that they've ever seen. But also, there are some crazy looking, huge guys, like just this massive people that already occupy the land. And they have huge cities and forts already built, and that's what they would have to go through in order to get in there. Right? And so we're going to come from Numbers chapter 13, verses 30, 32, and 33 there. So Caleb, he silenced the people before Moses. It was Caleb and Joshua were together on this viewpoint. And they said, we should go up and take possession of the land, for we can certainly do it. The other 10, right, the men who had gone up with them said, we can't attack those people. They're stronger than we are. And they spread among the Israelites a bad report about the land they had explored. They said, the land we explored devours those living in it. All the people we saw there were of great size, and we seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them. You understand what we just read there? So 2 out of the 10, right? They just experienced and saw the same stuff. But 2 out of the 10, Caleb and Joshua, came and said, hey, y'all, like, we got this. God's on our side, right? Like, he's going to lead us into this thing. Let's go up and take possession of this land. Let's do this. And the other 10 said, oh, no. We're never going to be able to make it in there. These people are going to slaughter us. They're huge. We're nothing. Like, there's no possible way that we're going to be able to go in there. You know what else happens eventually if you let your diabetes go unchecked? It starts to affect your vision. It starts to affect the way that you see. Everything you view starts to become affected and changed. And at some point, it can eventually lead to complete blindness. I want you to see something here. Number 3 on the back. The disease of complaining is no different than diabetes, y'all. Not only can it affect our entire being, but it can also start to affect the way that we see things. Eventually, we will have a pessimistic point of view about absolutely everything. We have to understand we don't want to start to allow that to affect everything that we see. The people that let complaining overtake their entire being, they all saw one thing together, how it wasn't going to happen, how there's no way that they could pull it off. and moving forward into everything God had for them was not for them, right? But Caleb and Joshua, they saw something else entirely. They had cut off that disease of complaining a long time ago. They didn't let that affect their whole being. And they're like, no. I don't know what y'all are seeing, but we're seeing something else. We're seeing something better. We're seeing what God can do in our life. Let's go take this. Let's do this, right? They both saw the exact same thing. But yet to them, it was something completely different. Guys, the bottom line of that is life all depends on how you look at it. Our life depends on how you look at it. I want to make sure we understand our lives are mostly affected by the way that we think things are, not the way they actually are. Right? The way that the things that affect us most, right, is the way that we think that life is, not the way that it actually is. What do I mean by that? I could bring you to show someone that's whatever life situation that they're in, maybe it doesn't seem like a lot to them in the world standards. So I could bring you to someone that could be so miserable and depressed, always going around thinking that they've never accomplished anything, that they aren't far enough along, right? And they could waste month after month on just being upset that they don't have more, they haven't gone further, or whatever that looks like. And then I could put another person in that exact same scenario, and I bet you they would be to the moon happy about it. Like I get to live here. like this is amazing, man. Like I get to sleep in the bed next to them every night. Wow. Like I get to take care of these kids. Man, I get to eat all this food. I get to work here and get a paycheck at the end of every week. I get to drive this. Man, this is awesome. Right? Yeah, it might be only a 2-bedroom apartment. Yeah, the car might be $4,000 cash. Yeah, the job's only paying $14 an hour, but they crazy happy about it. Like, they're loving it. Right? Guys, life is not defined on how things actually are. It's how we think they are.